Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to a gloriously sunny Norisring here for race 1 of the weekend for the DTM Trophy. It's race 5 overall for 2022. It's the 3rd season of the DTM Trophy as well. And well, on the front row then, it is indeed Daniel Gregor, who at Imola did not get a chance to race. So a chance of redemption. He's taken his first ticket, his first opportunity by qualifying well. Wasn't quite pole position. That belongs to this man here, JP Southern, who's not one of those two. He will obviously be in the car, or maybe out of the car. I'm not too sure, actually. But yeah, the team are indeed on pole position. A maiden pole in the series. He's very relaxed about everything and very happy with everything. Can he convert, though, and get a race victory? If he has hopes of winning the championship, I think even at this stage of the championship, he absolutely has to convert this and indeed get that victory. Very similar to Daniel Gregor, considering he's missed 2 races due to the accident in free practice 1 at Imola. He has to go out there and get the job done. So after all of the issues that JP's had, not really sure as to whether he was going to be driving in the series, ultimately he's here for week 3 of the championship and he's doing his best job possible and he starts in the best position possible. It's a massive opportunity for indeed some huge points. Lots of fans still here then after the DTM race we've just seen already. A race victory today for the Kuss Team Bernard team. Can they make it 2 from 2? Unfortunate news though, Ricky Capo, of course, who drives for the Porsche team, the Kuss Team Bernard, the engine seized in qualifying, so that is weekend over by all accounts, which is such a shame because the car's got some really serious pace. And it's just, yeah, not ideal. Not ideal for Ricky himself. He's absolutely devastated. And, of course, for the team because the other car that's done very well this time didn't race at Imola. So one car has raced effectively over the last 4 races for the team when they've got 2. So, yeah, not ideal in the slightest. Keeping the car cool there. It's such a hot day right now. Air temperature 50.8. Sorry, that's not air temperature. Track temperature 50.8 degrees. Air temperature 25.3. It feels a lot hotter than that, though. I can assure you of that. So welcome. If you're watching on YouTube right now, let me know where you're watching from around the world, and I will potentially give you a little shout out. Post your flags of where you're watching and maybe who you are supporting and think might get a victory here as well. If you're watching on television around the world, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy what you're about to see. These races always deliver. This is where we had the finale, the Will Tregurtha versus Ben Green. One of the best seasons I've ever seen in terms of just motorsport in general, and an unbelievable clean fight between the two of them where Ben Green came out on top. He is actually coaching the FK Performance drivers who are here this weekend as well. So yeah, maybe one of those BMWs could make their way up the order. There's JP again, looking very, very relaxed. A very cool cucumber, for sure. Very cool customer. Doesn't tend to really get too flustered. Also, a very good taste in music, I must say, as well. Very old school. Here's Tim Heinemann then, new championship leader. Of course, our inaugural winner in the DTM Trophy. And, well, he was tied on points with Colin Karasani after they've both picked up 2 wins each in the series out of the first 4 races. But on countback, in terms of race results, Colin Karasani had a better record. So he was actually leading the way, which means that Tim, after getting 1 point in qualification, now is on 70 points. So he's 1 point ahead of Colin Karasani. Thiago Vivac with him. Again, a very relaxed customer here. And from what we've seen so far this season, his qualifying really is the thing that lets him down. He's qualified well today. P4, his race pace is up there with the very best in this championship. So starting from a good position, absolutely massive opportunity. Rodrigo Almeida then will be in P5. You can see there Peter Mucker just in front of the car. Of course, race winner from Imola in the DRM Revival. I'm sure he's still letting people know about that to this day. And he has absolutely every right to do so. So we've got T-Rex from Michigan. Nice to see you. We've got Moritz Lohner. As I always say, everybody's favourite sim racer. Even sim racers will be out today in the weather. It is gloriously hot. Driving for the FK Performance Motorsport team. And he was very pleasantly surprised with his qualifying position. So what can he do from P6? Here is Rodrigo Almeida from Mozambique. starting in P5. His qualifying's been good, very similar to his teammate Cal Halper, but can they finally get the race pace? Can they be consistent? The BWT Muka Motorsport outfit, just looking for a bit of consistency. There's Sophie Hoffman, starting P17 for the Heinemann Motorsport team. Harko from the Netherlands supporting Sophie as well. Kapicu watching from Warsaw, Poland, welcome. Anybody who's watching on television, if you would like to indeed get involved, you can also tweet me or send me an Instagram at ActrollVision, A-C-T-R-O-L-L Vision. All one word. There's Fulgencio then starting on the 4th row. And, well, championship leader coming into this week, now 1 point behind, Colin Karasani, double race winner Imola. Very relaxed this weekend. We even saw a smile from him. Very rare. But in incredible form. Shout out to the Dur Esports team out there supporting Moritz as well. Leonard, who was one of the finalists for the DTM Esports, watching at home as well. Good to see you. Cal Halper then, the Frenchman, starting down in P9. Can they get it right in terms of pace in the race? Jacob Riegel there, thumb up. Someone who's really come out of his shell as well. First couple of rounds, quite a quiet, still kind of a quiet reserved character, but absolutely getting involved, having a bit of fun, lots of smiles as well, which is to be said for the whole grid. So this is, for some drivers, their first real major series. Mikhail Patamba, who at the start of qualifying looked absolutely lightning, but then everybody else just stepped it up, looked really good in the wet as well. P10. Could we see points then for Patamba today? Lewis Henkevend for Project One, of course, a graduate from the BMW M2 Cup last season, finds himself on P11. Or P12, should I say. Patamba is P11, Riegel in P10. Welcome, Susan. That's correct, felt hat. About 40 minutes, the gap. Nick Hanke for Speed Monkeys then. With the German and Dutch flag there. His mother's Dutch, his dad's German. Theo Uverhaus, who I think it's fair to say has never really been a qualifying specialist, but he is exceptional when it comes to earning the points in a race. Expect a charge from this young man. And he's got the experience to lean on from the BMW M2 Cup last year, where he indeed actually got 2 victories here at the Norisring. Jordan Wallace in the number 23 really is excelling with the Ben Green effect. He's being coached by Ben Green. And yeah, Wallace is definitely improving on his pace. The whole field is so much closer than they were at the start of the season. And then we've got Sterian Folev down in P16. Of course, we had already seen Sophie Hoffman, who will start in P17. There's Daniel Gregor then in the number 25. But there's your pole sitter, JP Southern for the East Side Motorsport team. And after considering how difficult it's been for them to get onto the grid this season, how sweet would it be to pick up a race victory? But this man, this young man here, useless at skipping, but luckily he's very good behind the wheel of a race car. Can he be the driver to stop him? Can they make it 2 wins from 2 races? Thomas winning in the DTM race. Can Daniel Gregor win the DTM Trophy race here? So we have got ourselves 50 seconds before they embark upon the formation lap. It's 30 minutes plus 1 lap. There's also a point for fastest lap as well. Expect this to be interesting, to say the very least. There are going to be chances taken. They are racing drivers after all, but they also will be a little bit reserved, I would imagine, because there is a second race tomorrow. Then again, I go back to my point. They are racing drivers, so who knows? 20 seconds then remain. And then we do indeed have some racing action. I'm not sure those 2 ladies realize there is actually a race going on. You can look at the track. They will soon hear them, for sure. That's a Daniel Chapin, no, AC. So they can have AC. A lot of drivers choose not to. But some drivers actually do. I couldn't give you specifics on that, but I asked this question at Imola. So it wasn't a silly question after all. No, absolutely. And well, hopefully everyone's nice and reserved down into turn number 1, but you can just imagine a couple of drivers going berserk down through there. It is so, so tight. And people will try and indeed shoehorn their way up a few positions. Here is your official start grid then. It's JP Southern, the American, for Eastside Motorsport in P1. Daniel Gregor, the German, for Kuss Team Bernard on the front row as well. Tim Heinemann, championship leader for Toyota Gazoo Racing Germany, powered by Ring Racing. He is in 3rd. Thiago Vivacqua for Heinemann Motorsport in 4th position. Rodrigo Diaz Almeida for BWT Muka Motorsport from Mozambique in 5th. We've then got Moritz Lohner in 6th position. Fulgencio and Karasani are on your 4th row. Kauhalper and Rigo are indeed on your 5th row. Patamba, Henkefend are in 11th and 12th position. Nick Hanke and Dia Uverhaus are indeed 13th and 14th position. Then you've got Jordan Wallace and Folev, teammates starting there on the 8th row. Then you've got Hoffman on the 9th row on her own. So 2 formation laps here because it's very, very short, as you can all imagine. Whoa, so here we go. Everybody breathe. It's a tight circuit. There are 4 corners, but it's such a technical circuit because of the bumps. It is a road. When we're not here racing, this is just a normal road where people drive. So yesterday, when it was raining, you could just see puddles like a normal road. This is not like a track, say, like Silverstone, where it is smooth, like they've smothered butter on toast. This is legitimately bumpy all over the show, especially on the exit of turn 4. And of course, that is the most important corner to get drive from. Because if you don't get good drive from there, you're going to be under pressure from people behind you, and also you're going to lose ground from people in front of you. 30 minutes of racing action coming your way. It's Audi on pole position. JP Southern, the American. Will this be the first time we ever see an American pick up the checkered flag in the DTM Trophy? And then we've got Daniel Gregor in 2nd. There's a good chance that we're going to crown a maiden victor, our 3rd different driver to win, although there's Tim Heinemann in the background there in that Toyota. Is that a Supra? Yes, it is. We'll absolutely try and change that. We have got ourselves 10 red lights here. We're waiting for the green lights to go. We are green light racing here, and Daniel Gregor has got an absolute flyer. Thiago Vivacqua trying to make a move here on the inside of Tim Heinemann. Heinemann covers him off beautifully well, and ultimately we'll have a tight line running in towards turn number 1. Look at Fulgencio around the outside in that black and white BMW. It looks like we've got to move then from Kauhalper. Moritz Lohner off the circuit there to try and avoid everybody. He will be slow on exit. He's going to lose 2, 3. Theo Uverhaus, by the way, from nowhere up into a top 8 position, and Vivacqua then is going to lose out not only to Colin Karasani, but it looks like he's going to lose out then to indeed, yes he does, Mark Fulgencio as well. Moritz Lohner drops further and further back. Lewis Henkefen just in behind him here, but a Porsche, just like the DTM races, had an absolute flyer. Daniel Gregor leads at the end of lap number 1. Tim Heinemann with a massive lunge, contacting with the leader, overtakes JP Southern, and that was optimistic to say the very least. And again, there was a little bit of a tag there with the left rear. JP Southern then is going to absolutely draft his way. He can't now because Gregor moves over. Very clever driving from Daniel Gregor, sharing the tow between the 2 cars behind, meaning they get half the effect as if one of them got the full way down the straight. As we head then down through turn number 1, Southern runs wide, Heinemann's up the inside. Southern runs completely wide. Massive mistake there, loses that 1 position. And Karasani was not able to take full advantage of that. Vivacqua has got back ahead of then of Fulgencio, and we know that the Audi driver will get better as this race goes on, but it's not been the best of starts. We go a bit further back, you can see that Hoffman there is in 17th, Wallace 16th, Folev in 15th position, Hanke, Patamba 13th, Regal is in 12th, Henkefend in 11th, and then your top 10 is as it was. Tim Heinemann absolutely flying here, by the way, took that opportunity with JP Southern, and well, now he's got an incredible exit out of turn 4, and he is right underneath that rear wing of the Porsche as we head across the start-finish line for the end of lap number 2. We're on board then, as you can see here, with the number 19, which is indeed Rodrigo Almeida, who's dropped 2 positions from the start. He's from 5th down to 7th, which is very, very unfortunate indeed. As, oh, that's a massive mistake there. So Daniel Gregor runs wide. Tim Heinemann, monkey see, monkey do, runs off as well. JP Southern thinks he's going to get a couple of positions. He's pulling over. Oh no, JP Southern's got an issue here. So he's gone from pole position, he's dropping down the order, and there is a big, big problem. This is going to be a DNF by the looks of things. And well, we just can't see here. Aesthetically, everything's all good on the car. And it just, yeah, there's something seriously wrong. Completely lost power, which is a massive shame. A pole position here, great 3 points already earned. But that is going to be his lot by the looks of things. As Theo Uverhaus goes up the inside there of Almeida. Up to P6, by the way. And again, Uverhaus has got previous here at the Norisring. He seems absolutely lightning in a race scenario. When it comes to qualifying, just never seems to hook up a lap. Watch out for Theo. He's got plenty of time. 27 minutes to go here as Gregor opens up that corner nicely. So that, again, you want to run wide, nicely out wide. Well, not that far wide, actually. That's a massive mistake from Cal Halper. Moritz Lohner's going to take full advantage of that, although they will be side by side down in towards the chicane. You saw Jordan Wallace there and Folev, teammates there battling. Hoffman getting involved as well at the background. Moritz Lohner, though, is going to lose out on this position. Henkefend in the red, green, and white BMW also trying to potentially make a move here. Has he got the overlap? As they come down in towards turn number 4, he's got just a... No, he hasn't. He's not quite close enough there to make that move. Moritz Lohner goes defensive. I say half defensive, more of a 50% defensive move. Henkefend decides not to send one up the inside. So, yeah, massive misfortune here. Ricky Capo wasn't able to start the race because of issues in terms of the car. And, wow, this is not a good position to be in right now for JP Southern because he's right in the middle of the circuit, right down towards turn number 4. So that more than likely will be, well, it will definitely be a safety car for sure. That car's stopped. And, yeah, that's not ideal. That is going to be a DNF and just so unfortunate. Had a genuine chance of winning the race here today, and it's just not gone the way of the American as Hoffman is looking to make a move up the inside of Jordan Wallace. Now they all realise that the safety car is indeed out on track. So there we go. We're going to get a restart here at the Norisring. It wouldn't be a race at the Norisring without at least one safety car. We may see more than that, but I would say that was a relatively good start from everyone concerned. Just very unfortunate for JP Southern. Yeah, not ideal in the slightest, but this gives us a chance to just breathe. We're going to be able to see some replays here. Daniel Gregor, what a phenomenal start he got, by the way. Southern didn't have that issue at the start of this race, so yeah, Daniel Gregor, his reaction time was lightning. He's a very young man, though, so it makes sense. And here is your restart then. Oh, so Southern kind of went and then didn't go. So it's almost a bit of a freebie, actually. Gregor, though, took full advantage of that. Tim Heinemann went straight across the track in that Supra to defend from that white Audi of Thiago Vivacqua. The Brazilian was never really going to be able to make a move. Then you see Moritz Lohner. He's kind of squeezed onto the high side there. You're not allowed to go there, but he lost position, so he will not get a penalty for that. He didn't gain anything from it. If anything, he dropped maybe 5 or 6 positions. And look at this. This is a massive lunge here. Oh, do you know what? Tim might be in trouble for that. Not sure whether that's going to be investigated or not. I've got nothing from race director, but that was, wow, that was very naughty, to say the very least. Made the move on JP Southern. But Daniel Gregor will be, well, we'll be hoping that he's got no damage to that left rear. He's still got good pace, so I would imagine he is all good. But talking of the championship here, Karasani and Heinemann, that neither were, well, Heinemann, I guess, was P3, so he was up there. Karasani was nowhere near the front in terms of his qualifying pace, but yet they've both made it up to the front of the field. So the two championship leaders coming into this weekend, both on 69 points. They are second and third. So Heinemann would stretch his lead. It was 1 point before we came into this race, depending on who's got the fastest lap as well, which is an extra 1 point. Heinemann would go back to the lead with a nice little advantage going into tomorrow's second race. 23 minutes left on the clock. Safety car is on track. You can see the SC sign there. JP Southern is now recovered as well. So it will be a case of safety car, maybe one more lap. Maybe one more lap. Because again, there is Southern. And it looks like the toe link has come loose there, and the momentum of the car has just stopped on the pit lane. So we've definitely got one more lap then with safety car. And now it's just a case of trying to keep heating the tyres, which shouldn't be too difficult in these conditions. So yeah, massive misfortune here for JP Southern. He's going to be gutted with that. Absolutely gutted. But there's an opportunity now for Gregor. Can Gregor take that Porsche to P1 in this race? Can Heinemann produce some more Heinemann magic? Maybe Karasani wants to get himself a third victory in a row in this championship. Thiago Vivacqua, maybe he can bring some magic that he had yesterday in the wet conditions during the dry. We know that he is very, very quick as the race will go on. He'll get faster, but he does not like the restarts. He is not a huge fan of restarts. The Audi isn't a fan of restarts. So, yeah, very difficult here. He's got to be wary of the two behind him. Theo Overhaus is very lightning when it comes to restarts, and Fulgencio will absolutely be flying here as well. So, Tim Heinemann has that inside line, and you've got Daniel Gregor with the outside line as they will run up towards turn number 1. Pace car is in. We're about to get the restart here then. Waiting for those green lights with 21 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Daniel Gregor in the Porsche to the left-hand side. To the right-hand side then we've got Tim Heinemann, and we are going here. Tim Heinemann's absolutely flown off the starting blocks here. Thiago Vivacqua's got the gap here. Daniel Gregor's just falling back. He has not got off the line well here at all. Tim Heinemann, he has leaned on every ounce of experience here. He takes the lead, and he, well, might as well just take the lead of the championship as well. Oh, it's a massive melee into turn number 1. Everyone's going to survive. No, there's big contact then between the Audi and, by the looks of things, the BWT, Motorsport, AMG, they're both out the race. Fulgencio's out the race here as well. 3 cars then are indeed involved in that. I'm sure that'll be another safety car here as well as it goes 4 wide through the chicane. And Daniel Gregor's just falling further and further back. Does Thiago Vivacqua have damage though? Because he definitely had contact with, I believe, Cal Halper. Safety car back out then. Oh, that's so unfortunate there for Rodrigo Almeida. And indeed, Cal Halper and Mark De Fulgencio. That's going to be 3 DNFs here in the race unless they can indeed continue to go, of course. But unfortunately, as we don't have to be mathematicians to realize 6 wide into a corner doesn't really go. Doesn't really go, I'm afraid. So we're going to get our third, well, I guess we're not restart, our second restart, our third start then of this race, but it is going to take some time, I would imagine. Not sure whether any liquid from the cars have been dropped here. But yeah, so unfortunate. And Vivacqua had a phenomenal start and it's kind of putting him in jeopardy there. Gregor falling back, just trying to keep as many places as he possibly can. Has unfortunately, I'm not saying that he's at fault, but he's in a position where he's 3 wide. Someone's diving his inside, someone's around the outside. He's trying to hold on to position. And then you get a 4th car joining in. And here we go. You see it right now. So Fulgencio, so Fulgencio and Vivacqua have kind of squeezed Gregor there. Gregor can't really get out of that because he's got right behind him Karasani. So Karasani's fallen right back here as well. Remember that. Tim Heinemann is in absolute dreamland as it stands. Yeah, Karasani's now P6. So there you go. That's what's caused this here. Vivacqua, the number 31, and the number 12 media-marked BMW have just pinched Gregor. Gregor's got nowhere to go. And then, well, a whole heap of trouble happened. Yeah, so Fulgencio's chucked the number 19 into the wall. And then Thiago Vivacqua's being tagged as well. And then there's some crabbing there. That is, not ideal in the slightest. Almeida with the crabbing car. Oh, wow, massive hit. Yeah, running sideways, scuffing the wheels across the ground. And that is all she wrote, I'm afraid. Fulgencio shoots across the other side of the track. Vivacqua there and Almeida having a little kiss between the two of them. Vivacqua kind of gets away with it, to be fair. That could have been so much worse. But yeah, Fulgencio with the pinch, unfortunately shoots across track, and yeah, it wasn't enough to put Almeida in a wall. He then shoots across the other side. And Cal Halper also in the opposite side of the track gets chucked into a wall. So here's the safety car, or the recovery vehicle, doing what the recovery vehicle will do. And well, there you can see there, the rear left is completely bent in. And that is not ideal. You only want that to be happening if it's a forklift truck. And that is a massive mess. A massive mess. Got a second race tomorrow. You just want to hope that the car's going to be okay. So unfortunate. And in all fairness there, was anybody seriously at fault? I'm not sure they were. Is that a Norisring racing incident? For me, more than likely. It's not really too much anyone could have done there. Everyone's fighting for inches of space. It's not feet of space. It's not meters of space. It is just inches. So we're just going to get rid of the rest of the car parts off the circuit. There's Fulgencio and Kauhalpa as well. They're off to the left. There is Eduard Kauhalpa. And you've got to feel for these drivers. It's a long way to come for your race to be over in the first 15 minutes. And then there were 13. Heinemann leads, Vivacqua's in second then. Overhaus is in third. I told you to watch out for Overhaus, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's got previous here. He is a superstar in the making. I made a claim last year that we will see Theo Overhaus be a world champion in some form of motorsport. I still stand by that. We've got Daniel Gregor then, P4. An exceptional start, was leading for the first part until we had our first safety car. Unfortunately, he's now dropped down to P4 after a really poor restart for the second of our, well, our first of our safety cars, should I say. We've then got Folev, by the way, up into P5. Sesterian Folev. Wow, absolutely keeping himself out of trouble here. He started down in P16. So Folev, when we do our little driver of the day vote in a YouTube chat, ladies and gentlemen, or on Twitter, absolutely keep Folev in mind. Incredible race from him. So we can talk about the negatives all day long. But Folev having a hell of a drive. Henkefend also up quite a few positions. Here we go then. Next restart. Tim Heinemann then is on the left-hand side of your screen. Vivacqua, who had a flying start last time round, is on the right-hand side of your screen. And then we've got Gregor in a Porsche on the right-hand side in second spot on that line. And then we've got the number 34 of Theo Overhaus in the BMW on the left-hand side of your screen. Waiting for those green lights once again. It's 13 cars. Here we are, green light racing. And all this contact with Folev and Daniel Gregor. So, and Folev is going to have, well, he's lost his front right. His front right is absolutely done here. He needs to stop that car to stop any potential damage. That might bring out another safety car here, but we had contact before they'd even got across the start-finish line. Through turn number 1 we come. Heinemann with the dream start, but look who is up into P2. Well, it's going to be close, actually. Karasani's got the inside line. Down in towards the chicane we come. And can Overhaus keep that overlap as they come through the left-hand part of the chicane? I'm not sure. There's Folev. He has stopped then across the start-finish line, but Theo Overhaus is up into P2. An incredible run then from Theo. And while he is a racing expert at such a young age, Karasani under all the pressure in the world. Remember, he's got the success ballast from winning the race last time out. Daniel Gregor comes through as well. Vivacqua just opening up a little hole for Daniel Gregor to come through. Henkefend, he is also going to come through, but it is now a safety car on track. Right now, Karasani needs as many of these as possible. I think this might be the only way he's going to get a decent result here, just because of the ballast in the car. It seems like, especially on exits of corners, is very much struggling to get that power down. Hoffman, by the way, P17 up to P8. So there are some positives here. If we were talking about Folev, I'm going to probably not mention anyone having a positive race now, because we mentioned Folev and, well, oh yeah, reactionary from Gregor. I think Gregor might be in a little bit of trouble for that as well. So Folev's had a really good reaction to the start, and then Gregor's pulled over, but he's already alongside. Oh, no, maybe I don't know. Again, I'm not a steward. I'm a commentator. But that is just... They've not even crossed the line. They've not even crossed the start line. So we'll see this once again, yeah. So Gregor just turns into Folev, and then Folev's a passenger. Like, he's got... When one of your wheels is wibbly-wobbly like that, you're in a bit of trouble. So safety car on the circuit once again. So now we're down to 12. I did see someone predict 12 finishes in this race. I think you might have been a little bit optimistic. So it is Tim Heinemann in the leads then. Theo Uverhaus in second position. Could he go out there and get his second ever DTM Trophy victory? Is it a possibility? Currently third in the championship is Uverhaus as well, so a big opportunity for him to close the gap. Unfortunately for him, it's Heinemann, who's current championship leader, that's in first. So even if he beats him by one position, Heinemann's still going to extend his championship lead over Karasani, who's currently P5. So Heinemann, Uverhaus, Vivacqua then. Then we've got, indeed, Daniel Gregor, Karasani, Henkefend. We've then got Regal, Hoffman, Patamba, Hanke, Lona, and Wallace. So that is, indeed, how it's going down right now. Hoffman with a big opportunity to get her first ever points in the DTM Trophy as well. Is today the day? Showed some really good pace yesterday. And in qualifying, I saw her reaction to how qualifying went this morning. As soon as she got out of the car, furious. Knows there's more pace there. Showing it in the race, though, for sure. So we've just got to wait for these cars to go by, and then we'll get the recovery vehicle on. So there may be a couple of laps to go. So welcome to everybody watching around the world. Any questions you have, if you're watching on television right now, you can tweet me or send me an Instagram message at ActrollVision, ACTROLL Vision, VISION. And if you want to indeed do that from YouTube, you can as well. But you can also just type in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from around the world. We're going to have a little bit of a breather here, a chill out. We're going to see the last 10 minutes of this race, I would imagine. Hopefully, green light racing. Yeah, let me know where you're watching from around the world. Put your flag, country flags out there as well. Maybe let me know who you're supporting as well. So yeah, incredible scenes. Absolutely incredible scenes. So let's talk about position, how many positions people have gained then. So Heinemann started P3, he's P1. Uverhaus started P14. He's P2 right now. Vivacqua started P4. He's up to P3. Gregor started P2. He's now P4. Karasani was P8. He's up into P5. And then we've got Henkefend. Henkefend was P12, and he's now up to P6. Regal was P10, up to P7. Hoffman, P17, up to P8. Patamba was P11, up into 9th position now. Hanke was 13th. He's up into 10th then. Lona's dropped down. He's gone from 6th down to 10th. 11th, should I say. And Wallace then has moved up from 16th to 12th position. So yeah, as much as there are, of course, some negatives when you have safety cars like this, you've also got to look at the positives here. And there's a few drivers that have taken full advantage of this, and they're going to get some massive positive results. And that's something that can genuinely change someone's season. So right now, there'll be a few of you sat at home right now going, oh, this has been really scrappy. But for some drivers, this is the confidence they need. Confidence is massive in motorsport. This could be a turning point here. We're not even at the halfway point of our season. So this could be a vital weekend for many drivers. T-Rex, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. We've got Ashley Horn watching from Macau. We've got Tharashan watching from South Africa. Nice, welcome. Noah from Portugal watching as well. I root for all of them, Lopez. I root for all of the drivers. No favourites with me. I'm impartial. Luis Armota supporting Mozambique, or from Mozambique. So, for sure, a Patamba fan. Lovely chap. Patamba? Sorry, Almeida. Equally a lovely chap. So here we go. Looks like we might be ready to get going now. By the way, fastest lap so far is Theo Uverhaus. Theo Uverhaus has the fastest lap, ladies and gentlemen. 17 years old. The youngest ever DTM Trophy Race winner. Last year at the Hockenheimring. Will he get his second here at the Norisring? With BMW celebrating 50 years of M-Power, he's got the special livery on the car. What an appropriate weekend it will be. But the last person you want ahead of you that is there to stop you from doing it is Tim Heinemann. The guy's a machine. Doesn't matter whether he has got the best car or the worst car on the grid. He will drag cars to results. He is that kind of driver. The car looks good, though. The driver looks good this weekend, very similarly to what we saw at the Lausitz-Ring. Can he hold on, though? Can he hold on for 7 minutes 45 seconds? We may even have a bit of an extension, waiting for that to be confirmed as well. ZM Gamers, welcome from Indonesia. We've got Alan as well, who's just sent me a message on Instagram, watching from India. So glad to see you there. A Miney fan from the DTM. Glad you're checking out the DTM Trophy as well. And, well, Folev yesterday ended up there in qualifying. And unfortunately, in race number 1, he's ended up there for the rest of this race, unfortunately. 12 drivers remain. Safety car will be coming in, I would imagine, at the end of this lap. We've got a 5-second time penalty for car number 25. Daniel Gregor has a 5-second time penalty as well. So that will be confirmed on your screens for you, I'm sure, soon. But I've had it confirmed from race director. So a 5-second time penalty will be added to the race time of Daniel Gregor. So depending whether we get another safety car or not, that could be a lot of positions. But if the field spreads out, of course, he may indeed be okay. Rumyan, all good here. Hopefully you're well too. So here we go. Here we go. Safety car still on track here. Shout out to Red Luca as well. Hopefully you're enjoying what we're watching here. And hopefully we get some nice green light racing. It is now 3+ laps at the end of this race. So we've got an extension of 2 extra laps here. Safety car is coming in this lap, so we will get some racing action. Here we go. This is going to be super exciting now. You know that the drivers at the front are going to be trying to stick at this stage of the race, just guarantee some good points. But you also know there are drivers at the back that are well out of position and they want to gain as many spots as possible. Is this today that we see a different winner? Or will Tim Heinemann continue to be the most winningest driver, extend his most winningest driver, extend his most points ever scored in DTM Trophy, and potentially take another step towards becoming a 2-time DTM Trophy champion? Tim Heinemann, one of the older drivers in the field. Not the oldest, but one of the oldest. With one of the very youngest, if not the youngest, Theo Overhaus at the front of the grid. Is that a Supra? It absolutely is. On the left-hand side of your screen, in P1, it is Theo Overhaus in P2. Has history here at the Norisring. Can he do it in the DTM Trophy? Vivacqua then in the number 31 Audi is P3. Daniel Gregor with a 5-second penalty is P4 in the Porsche. We are green light racing here. Heinemann gets a great start, but look at the BMW. The BMW will get going really well in the higher gears. It's a great move potentially on the cards. Up the inside, Theo Overhaus will go. And I tell you what, I think he's ahead going into the braking zone. Goes on the brakes really late here. Does he hit the apex? No, he runs completely wide. Heinemann's going to follow him as well. Vivacqua moves up the inside, but Heinemann with exceptional traction. Theo Overhaus leads. Oh, incredible scenes here as he now comes down towards the chicane. Vivacqua makes a lunge up the inside then. Tim Heinemann's got to run wide. Daniel Gregor's going to try and take back a top 3. Remember, has that 5-second penalty, but the race has opened up beautifully well here then for the Volkenhorst Motorsport driver. Theo Overhaus with damage on the front of the car. That's not going to matter if he has a trophy to hold at the end of this race. Look at Jacob Riegel. He's come out of nowhere, battling them for P4. Gregor is up to P3, but remember, he will lose that position as it stands. Colin Karasani led the championship coming in. He overtakes Jacob Riegel on the exit of turn number 4. And now we go across the start-finish line. Henkefend almost having contact there with Riegel. Regal as well, trying to make a move up in towards turn number 1. Will Henkefen get it? Late on the brakes he will go. And oh no, he's just he tagged Colin Karasani. Now it gives Nick Hanke the opportunity to overtake his teammate. So Hanke there. The difference between the two Aston Martins is that Jacob Regal's got more of a green tinge to the highlights, and then you've got the luminous yellow there of Nick Hanke. Hanke says, thank you very much, I'll have that. I know you're my teammate, but I want those points for myself. So he moves up to P7. But the big story here is we might have our third different winner of the season, and a repeat winner from last season as well. Theo Uverhaus in a great spot. Vivacqua trying to find a move here on Gregor, and I'm not sure Vivacqua will have any idea about the 5-second penalty as of yet, but he will want to try and push for the race victory. It's not just about getting ahead up towards P number 3. He wants to try and get that race victory. Uverhaus still leading. Heinemann will extend his championship lead with this result. Uverhaus runs a little bit wide there, but again, it's more of a pronounced line. That's the kind of line he was thinking. Oh, Patamba's completely missed his breaking point. It's a huge hit then, down in towards turn number 1. And that is Regal. So Jacob Regal's been completely cleaned out. And what has happened there? Mikhail Patamba, well, that's you're done. You can't drive that, I'm afraid. That's just going to do more damage to the car. And the Speed Monkey's car has just been completely cleaned out by the number 17 down towards turn 1. And I can only imagine that's a failure of some sort. That was a huge hit. Oh, he comes from miles back. Oh, he's tried to turn in, tried to avoid it. And I'm just not sure what's happened. He may have just lost concentration trying to hold a position there on Moritz Lohner. But it's a massive hit. Oh, it's huge. I hope both drivers are okay. But that is a massive, massive hit. Oh. Front right into the rear left. Jacob Regal, complete innocent bystander on that. Nothing he could have done about that whatsoever. Instantly knows his race is done. And this race has just been full of incident. Just got a feel there for Regal. He's furious. He's shaking his head. He's got every right to be angry. Puts the visor down. I think that's a good point. There's the FK Performance group there. Not as disappointed by the looks of things. So Patamba out this race as well. 10 finishing by the looks of things. And Regal is absolutely furious. It's bad for this race, but how bad is it for the rest of the weekend? We've seen some crashes that are potential weekend enders here. How many people are we going to see racing tomorrow? Not good in the slightest. We're going to get another replay here. I'm not sure we need it, but it's a huge impact. Just not sure how you can explain that. I certainly can't. Windscreen wipers going off. You don't need those. And this is going to be a bit of a clear-up exercise for sure. So the recovery doesn't need to be that crazy, considering they both ended up off the circuit anyway. It's a case of getting all of the debris off the circuit. And again, I'll say one thing, at the Norisring, they are really good at that. And it is a street circuit. When you have an incident, it's magnified just because there's nowhere to go. There is absolutely nowhere to go. But as people are quite rightly pointing out here, there are only 10 drivers remaining here. Theo Uverhaus, who got an exceptional restart last time round, is still leading this race, but he's got that wily old fox, Tim Heinemann. Tim Heinemann, has he got one last ounce of magic here? Vivacqua, I'm sure he would have been told now on the radio that the car in front will lose the position, will lose P3 because of the penalty with the incident involving Sterian Folev and Daniel Gregor. As they come through the chicane, see the question there, are teams allowed to use spare cars? They just don't have a spare car. They don't bring spare cars. It's very rare you see that these days in motorsport, to be honest. I know there used to be T-cars in Formula 1. Yeah, it's very rare you see a spare car in racing these days. Leonardo Bacuti. I'm not sure it's worth knowing the extent of that. So there's, as you can see, Regal's name on the front of the car, and yeah, absolutely gutted for him. Lots of fluid coming out the car, and that does not look like it's an easy fix for sure. Onto the back of the low loader, steam coming out of the front end. Such an unfortunate event for the Speed Monkeys team. They still got one more car in the race though. Hanke currently P7, up from P13. So Theo Uverhaus, we've got 2 laps to go here. Safety car, we'd be hoping comes in at the end of the next lap and we get 1 sprint lap. It is as simple as that. It is a 50-second sprint lap. 55-second sprint lap. It comes down to this. Down towards turn number 1 again. Uverhaus has been in the wars as well, as you can see. The front right of that car, not affecting anything. Won't be as slick through the air, but I'm pretty sure you could do 1 lap. So we are on the last lap, actually. So this is it. It's going to finish under the safety car. It says last lap on my screen. It says last lap as the race director as well. So it looks like we're going to finish under the safety car. And regardless of whether you're happy with how the race has gone, if you're Theo Uverhaus, you are in absolute dreamland. If you're Daniel Gregor, you're about to finish 10th. Daniel Gregor has got that 5-second penalty and he's trying to be as close to Tim Heinemann as he possibly can. And if everyone else behind, as we go then across the line, and it will be a race victory for Theo Uverhaus. Safety car conditions, incredible stuff from him. He becomes a 2-time winner in the DTM Trophy. He was 3rd in the championship coming in, and he will indeed have closed up that gap. 17 years old, Theo Uverhaus picking up that victory. Incredible stuff there. He will be so happy with this as well, and I know his old man will be chuffed a bit. Tim Heinemann will extend his championship lead. He will finish in P2. Daniel Gregor there in the number 25. He crossed the line 3rd, but with that 5-second penalty, he ultimately will finish, I'm not sure how far down the order. It actually will be P10, so he's going to finish in P10. He's behind everybody here. That means Thiago Vivacqua will be on the podium for his 2nd podium of the season. So there's some flag. Well, that's some impressive flag waving for sure. Daniel Gregor then trying to get back to the pits as soon as he possibly can. He's probably going to be furious, and you just got to feel sorry for the Kuss Team Bernard team. It's just not been their day today. For DTM Trophy, of course, winning DTM race, but DTM Trophy 2 weeks in a row now, or 2 rounds in a row. Imola did not go well for Gregor. His car was rendered not able to race after free practice 1. And well, Ricky Capo's car, his engine seized earlier on. That's weekend over. And well, it doesn't matter for a driver like Theo Uverhaus because the Volkenhorst Motorsport driver has just picked up his 2nd ever victory in the DTM Trophy. He finishes P1. Tim Heinemann extends his championship lead in P2. Vivacqua is in P3. Karasani finishes in P4, so not too far behind Heinemann, and indeed doesn't lose too much ground in the championship as well. Henkefend is in 5th position. We've then got Hanke in 6th. Lohner in 7th. We've then got Hoffman, Wallace, and Gregor as your top 10. This page here, unfortunately, doesn't really mean too much there, as every single one of those drivers was a DNF. And there he is, Theo Uverhaus. He's forgot something, but there's the team. And this team are a small team, not in terms of the name. Volkenhorst Motorsport's a huge name in GT racing, but it's a small, tight-knit group working with Theo, and they just are a really pleasant group on the grid. And they thoroughly deserve it. And they back this young man as much as I do. I think he's got a huge future ahead of him. If he starts to nail qualifying, he might become a little bit of an unstoppable force at this young age. But he's got a massive future. You can see the emotion there, the embrace, incredible scenes. And he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. Works really hard. Keeps himself to himself for the most part, coming out of a shell a little bit, but he's only a young man. Yeah, really nice chap. There's Thiago Vivacqua picking up his second podium of the season, which he will be super, super pumped with as well. You get a chance there to spray the champagne. Thiago's girlfriend there on screen. Flew in from Brazil, first time in Europe as well. Bit of a lucky charm. Thiago won a DTM Trophy esports race yesterday as well. So I think she might be flying every single time from now on. So here is the championship standings then. And well, Theo Uverhaus is the biggest mover. He is closing the gap now to 20 points. Tim Heinemann, though, still leads with 88 for the Toyota Gazoo Racing Germany, powered by Ring Racing. Project One's Colin Karasani is second, then 7 points adrift. And then got Theo Uverhaus for Volkenhorst Motorsport on 68. Is that the defining moment of the season for him, though? Is that the turning point? Thiago Vivacqua on 50 points is in fourth. Regal could have been so much more today, but unfortunately it might be weekend over, judging by the damage. 40 points for him in fifth position there, as they're still indeed chatting away, discussing what just happened. There's Tim. I think Tim will be disappointed that he's not won the race, but will be pretty happy with the points and the bigger picture in terms of becoming a two-time DTM Trophy champion. Theo, I think, has forgotten how to put on a winning hat. Get used to it, Theo, because there's going to be plenty of wins for you in the future. There's Thiago on the third step of the podium. Seems a little bit emotional, actually. It's not really like Thiago to be emotional, but you can tell that this has taken a lot out of him for sure. There's Tim. Just looks a little bit despondent, but again, the bigger picture, it's a great performance today. And then there's Theo. A two-time winner in the DTM Trophy. Incredible stuff. I'm going to leave you now with a podium ceremony.
Geht dann an das Walkenhorst Motorsportteam und ich darf auch hier den Vertreter auf die Bühne bitten. So, meine Damen und Herren, da stehen sie also, unsere 3 Sieger der DTM Trophy heute auf dem Norisring. Spektakuläres Rennen, tolles Wetter und jetzt die Nationalhymne für den Sieger. Ja, die Nationalhymne für den Sieger und jetzt kommen wir zu den Pokalen. Der Pokal für den 3. Platz wird überreicht von Frank Plasmeier. Er ist der Gewinner der DTM Experience. Und nochmals der 3. Platz an Daniel Gregor. Dann kommen wir zum 2. Platz. Auch hier wird der Pokal überreicht von Frank Plasmeier, ebenfalls eben der Gewinner der DTM Experience. Und dieser Pokal geht an Tim Heinemann. Und dann kommen wir zum siegreichen Team, das Walkenhorst Motorsportteam. Und auch hier wird ein Pokal überreicht, nochmals Frank Plasmeier. der Pokal für den Sieger für Theo Oberhaus wird überreicht und das ist ein Bekannter hier auf dem Norisring. Herzlich willkommen, Mike Rockefeller, ein alter Bekannter aus der DTM. Wir freuen uns, dass er hier ist und er erreicht den Siegerpokal. Nochmals herzlichen Glückwunsch an die 3 Gewinner des heutigen Rennens, spektakuläres Rennen hier auf dem Norisring. Ja, und jetzt Bühne frei für die Fotografen.
There you go, champagne coming out. A lot of excitement. I don't know where Tim's gone. Tim disappeared. Probably have to drink it. Not sure Tiago realised that the cork had already been taken out. And now they're just disappearing. But super exciting there. We've had our 3rd different winner of the season with Theo Uberhaus winning here at the Norisring. Incredible scenes for him. And again, just stamping even more into the ground of how much of a superstar he will be in the future. I can assure you of that. So there you go. That's race number 1 done of the weekend. Do you know what? I think we'll have another go tomorrow, shall we? Hopefully it's a little bit cleaner and we get a little bit more racing tomorrow. But what do you expect? It is the Norisring. It is home of DTM. We'll catch you all tomorrow.